Hello and welcome to Gotham. Here we have two fellow beasts reconciling the differences in the world with themselves. A lot has happened in their personal lives, having not really spoken since they were children. Now's their chance to share their recollections and maybe recent dealings going forward, all the alliances and backroom chat. Perhaps some more than others believe it's important to be on the same page, especially given what happened this night. Without further ado, they chose to meet themselves, so fine.
Look at my ponytail. I have an epic ponytail.
So, we'll probably just meet up in the slums. Like, just any random location. We're both really familiar with it, even in its ruined state. We can just be like, where this used to be. So, Talon naturally just kind of appears the way he does.
Why, hello there, creepy, stalkery shadow guy.
Well, he wouldn't appear in vision. He would walk into your, you know what I mean? Just kind of comes out of a dark alleyway somewhere.
Why, hello there, creepy, stalker, shadowy guy.
He just chuckles. Same old.
So, where's your fucking foot?
Oh yeah, he's limping at the moment, but he still has a shoe, and there's like, you can tell there's been an attempt so that he's just limping. It looks like he probably has a foot though. There's something in his shoe.
Oh. Okay, so why are you limping?
He kind of looks around, making sure that the street's pretty empty. It's the slums at night, so even if it isn't empty, nobody's really paying attention. They're trying to stay warm because it's winter. They're hobos, whatever. And he kind of just picks up his shoe. As well, he like leans in. Maybe he won't lean on you. Maybe he'll grab like a sign or something.
I see you're missing something. What happened? Did patients do this to you for some weird experiment?
No, I was interested in something, and I didn't have a body available for it. Or I shouldn't say a body in the fucking city. There was no other available vessel.
I mean, it's not too hard to just... And I motion around to the street. Find one.
I was in the company of others. And expected to follow them to a new place. So this was the quick and dirty, I guess.
So it's something that couldn't wait at all.
Well, they were taking the Riddler to their fancy court.
Ooh.
I had a small window of opportunity.
So I had to be quick. I see. Still doesn't actually tell me what happened, but yeah, let's find a place, I guess.
I imagine we're just strolling down the street.
Yeah.
And it's like, if we find ourselves at Gotham General, okay. We could just say we met up there, I guess. Or on our way there.
Probably on our way there.
When we do get there, we'll make sure like nobody's like gonna accidentally end up in the lair, so you'll probably use sealed exits, etc. We'll say we get in our lair.
Yep. Sounds good. Just open the door. We're in our lair.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So now you must tell me. What's going on?
Well, you've been around. You know that we can take pieces, make copies
Of
of
course.
ourselves. One of those is in Nathaniel Hightower's shadow.
Why didn't we just make a deal with him?
Precisely.
Hmm.
Vampires are extremely secretive, manipulative creatures.
Yes, they are.
And you probably know by now that Talon's legend is watchful. So
But
this
sorry,
isn't.
what?
You probably know by now that Talon's legend is watchful.
Right.
So this isn't terribly out of character for him. He doesn't do it
Mhm.
often, but it's not like some crazy new thing.
Right. Yeah.
Pardon me. One
Go ahead.
of our friends, Uncle, you keep calling him, can draw out the dead. And I don't mean kindred. I mean those who failed to pass on.
Gotcha.
We interrogated the Riddler, but he didn't have many answers. Apparently he was under something else. He had chains around him. Around his apparition, we'll say.
That is definitely odd.
I got an interesting mark.
Yeah.
The Prince of the Vampires. He has little qualms burning his own kind.
Well, I mean,
Staked to these wooden things. They were Roman crosses, but he doesn't necessarily know all the sorts. Actually, sorry, he has 3 dots of occult. They were essentially crucified, burned.
I would have much more. So there's why.
Something come up?
What was that?
Something come up?
No. Did you not hear me?
You like got super fucking quiet for a bit.
Oh, no. I said, was it for some kind of ritual? Like, it's not normal for one to burn his own kind.
It was a punishment. Apparently, they had made enemies of Nathaniel and his kindred sister. I'm retarded. Not his kindred. His Nathaniel and Tatiana. It's fucking almost midnight, guys. We'll just say it's Nathaniel and Tatiana.
Okay. So they were enemies of those, so they got burned?
Yes. Well, that was their reward for killing the Riddler, partially. Nathaniel and Tatiana also gained some boons from this prince. pretty sure that's just their fancy word for favors.
Oh,
But favors from royalty, or one who claims such a title. I wonder what that could be.
agreed. It is definitely in our best interest to keep a close eye on Nathaniel.
I gave him a trinket that he can break to call on my assistance, but not a feather.
Good.
Our agreement with Anthony is separate from the one with Nathaniel. Effectively, two groups, just with redundancy.
Got you.
That's an important distinction going forward. Nathaniel was awarded a position in the court tonight for his efforts with the Riddler. I shot the Riddler, but his knife landed in the Riddler's head within moments afterwards. The prince awarded him the kill, and that was one of his rewards, along with the wounds I mentioned previously.
Well, that's just rude. Clearly, you got the kill. I mean, come on.
Indeed. That's not what weighs in my mind, though. I had one of those. I had a kindred here, as he like gestures to the hospital around us. That's no longer the real hospital.
Right.
For all intents, he was my prisoner. He had his mind broken, unable to act. Our kindred friends were interested in interrogating him, so I rescinded this, and he immediately disappeared. But it wasn't of his own doing. Now, we're beasts. Of course we know what chambers are and where they exist. We also know about the bright dream. Out of character, that's just their word for the Temenos, or humanity's dream, collective dreams and thoughts.
Right.
So, you have a secret wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in the darkness, wrapped in... There's many levels of obscurity. There aren't many creatures, other than beasts, hardly any at all, that know that this place even exists, much less can single out one of our homes in it. Whoever took him out of my lair, out of our home, will pay dearly.
I get very intense at this revelation. Nod my head in agreement. Definitely.
I will find him. I will bring him here. And we will show him the error of his ways.
You see a smile creep across my horror's face. Almost like a hungry, very satisfied, like, this will happen. And it will be fun.
My lair's grown since the last we met. Out of character. I'm lair 4 now. And
Wow.
and the chambers are actually much larger. So I have a mare called Vast Lair, and I have 2 dots in it now because I helped the storyteller out with some shit. But long story short, it takes like at least 20 minutes to cross the chamber now instead of like half my layer in turns and burrows and the like. So it's much more, like, it's a pretty drastic difference.
Wow. Yeah, that is quite big.
Yeah, going from one side of the house to the other isn't just like a 6 second or whatever makes sense kind of stroll anymore. Burrows would be 6 seconds,
Right.
but now it's 20 minutes.
It's like, oh yeah, we're just taking a leisurely stroll down the halls of, the hospital that is our lair.
You can cross just pretty much a kilometer in about a 20-minute run, half an hour run, maybe something like that. It's like 12 city blocks, we'll say.
Gotcha.
So like that's basically how big a single chamber in my lair is now. Is this like basically a square kilometer, a little bigger maybe?
I'm glad we share a chamber.
Yeah, I suppose that's a benefit for you as well in that case.
Yeah, it really is, especially since I only have one chamber, and that chamber is the chamber we share.
You should have 2, because you're at layer 3 and you only sacrifice
I'm
1.
only at layer 2.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Mm.
Right. Anyway.
Mine's a baby layer.
We'll end up going to the Velvet Rose. In the lair, that's a fairly straightforward endeavor. It's a brood lair. Nothing's really stopping us from just opening the door, crossing the street, even though the city's not like that at all. But the Velvet Rose is across the street, so we'll just head there.
Okay.
And this chamber is much more forgiving. I'll bring up the merit real quick, but essentially I can take care of a shitload of guests indefinitely, food, clothing, whatever they need, resting.
Okay.
This is literally where he's lived, so I'm sure he might have been here once in the past.
Probably.
But now that all his chambers are bigger, it's kind of nice now.
Yeah. Oh, hey, it's not a crowded mess anymore.
It's not just me and room for me. It's
Room for everybody.
Room for myself and 12 more people indefinitely, with the food, water, clothing, and the necessities for sleep and hygiene, etc.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's why he's always like, if you need a place to crash, if shit's hitting the fan, you can go to a place that technically doesn't exist. Yeah.
Welcome to my humble abode that exists in the real world but doesn't. But does.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is actually all a figment of your imagination. But isn't. How beasts think.
All the people here are just mirages, if you even want, like, false company. But there's a, false bartender and so on. Because it's the Velvet Rose, it's still a burlesque club, so there's still, like, shit going on, quote unquote.
Right.
Whatever makes sense for the Nightmares scene.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Nice. It definitely is a lot more roomy.
You mentioned a suit.
What was that?
Oh, Talon was kind of like, sit in a booth, and Tatiana's birds, or at least some rendition of them, are nearby. You mentioned a suit.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Well, here in my home, things are a little more solid. And he realizes this is like the worst oxymoron because you're totally in dreamland, nightmare land, but but yeah, it's not. He doesn't need to just use mirages. He can just make a suit.
Yeah, the meaning isn't lost on her.
Okay.
She quite has a talent of deciphering you. All right, then let's see it. I want to see this suit.
It just appears on him, and it's like that sort of reddish color that velvet would have been in Cars.
Okay.
Or not
Yeah.
velvet, maybe velour, but velvet, whatever the fuck. Anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah. He's got like this sort of wine colored suit.
I go up to it and I start feeling it. Because I want to make sure like it's real, it's not just gonna disappear. You know, like a mirage.
And you're immune to the lair tilts, so
Yeah.
it works out.
Yep. So I just touch it, feel it, you know. Like very nice. Very nice. Can you do it in blue?
It
Like
just
dark blue.
changes like
Good
navy
deal.
blue.
Good deal. And now we're gonna put a hat on you. Mafia fedora. Let's do that. With the feather. I want the feather in it.
Oh no. The feather isn't for me, it's for you and people who need my assistance with it.
No, wrong feather. Any feather. It could be fake. It could be plastic. Just in the hat.
He actually, because I don't think Anthony's feathers are for sale anywhere. That would make sense. So it's like this scaled down, but still quote unquote real, like biological peacock plume.
Ooh. Yes.
Because it's navy blue and then like, yeah. And the plume, like, yeah.
So you're gonna wear this for like the next few days.
Yeah. It literally just says a few days. It doesn't even give me like a concrete number, so.
No, this is Amber telling Talon. You're gonna wear this for the next few days.
Talon actually looks you in the eye and he's like, so you prefer this over Titus?
Hold up. This is legit. Like
you can play this game, you little dick. No.
This is legit. Like that's Talon's way of trying to figure out if he ranks higher than Titus in the Shannon's, or Amber's level. That is great. It's so awkward. You just see me like my face drops first. It's like what? And then I just start like, you know, kind of getting like the sarcastic laughing smile, you know, like not insulting at all, just like, oh my, is he really jealous kind of deal? And I'm like, I do like it. It is much better than his style.
He just chuckles and nods, like, I guess that's all I'm getting.
Yeah, well, I don't know what Titus has told you.
You offered him something. Or in response, anyway.
No. Well, I guess. I confronted him about trying to find information about me, which he could not find much anyways. Because, you know, me.
Amber, you know I see things.
Okay. So were you spying? Sir?
Well, you keep disappearing.
I was gonna tell you, but you seemed busy, preoccupied. So I thought, you know, why not?
Why not? What?
Go settle this. I wanted to know why he was asking around about me.
He just kind of like cuts to the chase. Are you taking him up on his offer?
Which one?
Wow.
I look at you like,
He
you know,
holds
big
his-
sigh.
You know that like go fuck yourself, jerk off motion, basically? That college kids might do to their teacher or whatever. It's basically what he does.
No, I'm not taking him up on that. But you know, gotta give a guy some hope so that he stays malleable to your will. It's true. Very true.
He just shrugs. You don't really need to feed that guy's inhibitions.
No. Very true. But we have a mutual understanding. I help him out. He owes
Oh
me.
yeah.
Yes.
He needs your help kicking down a door.
No, of course
Highly
not.
doubt that.
No. But you don't just muscle people. Sometimes
Tell
it
that to
takes
him.
some finesse. He is such a hothead. I
It's
look
gonna be our
legit
downfall someday.
annoyed. I look legit annoyed with him. Fucking hothead.
That'll be our downfall someday if we allow him in our brood.
Yeah, you gotta watch it too, sir.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're not quite a hothead, but you know, strong arm.
I take pride in what I do.
Yeah, very true. It's quite useful. Very true. But
The
you know,
position, and he's sort of changing the topic because he's tired of talking about Titus already.
right.
The position Nathaniel's been offered. It's important.
How so?
I don't have all the answers yet, but I'm sure they'll come in time. But the prince looked taken aback that he'd even ask for such a thing. Apparently Talon's super eloquent when I'm half asleep, so or at least talks
Right?
nicer than usual. To be fair, he's talking to Amber in his lair, so I guess he can like relax. He's not surrounded by people. He's not feeling like he's in a cage or anything, so
Right.
and it's been about a month, so I'm sure he's like
He's learning.
getting back into talking to people other than trees. No.
He was a tree whisperer. The trees told me things. The trees told me things.
Patience is case they do.
Oh, patience. Patience. She's gonna love the soup.
I'm sure. And he kind of cocks his head a little bit, like, is this gonna cause a problem?
Don't worry, it's not
all he
a-
did is put a fruit down, and she was ready to take his throat out, so he picked it back up. He goes over there to see her, how she's been all these years, check out her garden, not like that, and Amber's like ready to fucking take his head off. So it seems he's just kind of like, okay, I've indulged both of you here. Is it like, are we good? So that's why he's
Yeah,
cocking
I
his head
don't-
in your direction, because he's asking.
Yeah, I put on my biggest innocent look, like, I don't think there's gonna be a problem. It'll be fine. I promise.
Now he'll start asking the big questions. So where do we stand with each other?
What do you mean?
Well, we're in a brood. But it's
Yes,
been
we are.
years.
It doesn't feel like it's been years, though.
Well, you don't seem too different, at least. Even after your devouring.
I feel that it was more of a enhancement than a change.
I was about to
So-
say embraced. I was devoured so young, I didn't have much of an identity back then. It was
Yeah.
part of why Talon's the way he is now, because he's got much less of a humanity to draw from, or human
Right.
experience. So
Yeah. So he holds on to what humanity is there.
which
Yeah.
unfortunately is running from things, finding things, and shooting things.
This is what I did all the time. But Amber, of course, gets your drift of what you're saying. That is, I pretty much, I kind of stay vague about these things. And I'm like, that is, honestly up to you. I heavily insinuate that we can stay friends, that if you want more, we can be more, but I'm not gonna ever pressure anything because I don't want to. Oh, hey, she's manipulating people again.
That's fair. Because Talon's pretty sensitive to that.
Yep.
Free spirits, my ass. Anyway.
Pretty much.
I suppose there's an elephant in the room he'll address.
Yeah.
Zoe.
I don't know her.
Yeah, but Creed at the fucking sushi bar. Either Creed. Yeah, I think it was Creed. Who was just like, what about Zoe? And you were like, oh, you got a girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, I don't know her. What is she gonna do? Magically appear? She disappeared, didn't she?
Out of character, I think she's only been gone a week, which is still kind of a big deal for a human being to disappear that long.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and
you're
then
like trying to tutor them on the supernatural, and they just check out of life for a while.
Check out of life. They're just please. I'm out. This is too much.
To be fair, she's a thrill seeker, so that's why it's weird that she's been gone.
Oh yeah, you would have heard something.
Yeah. Anyway. I was making friends before you came along, before all of you came along. It's kind of funny how that works. Her name was Zoe, and she was mostly human. She had something about her. She could run and climb and do all the things we used to do as kids, only she carried a big rifle.
I kind of giggle and say, well, right up your alley.
Precisely. She hasn't been around for a little bit. I'm sure she's doing okay whatever business she has to attend to. But she's still someone important to me. I'm sure you understand.
Of course. I won't ever impose or cross lines. I make it clear that I'm leaving this completely up to you. Like, I'm not, you have things you need to get figured out. That's fine. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
I can't remember if the burnout match is blown in your presence or not, but he'll bring it up now. A lot has happened in the last few weeks. I've participated in killing people more than once now since coming into town. When you knew him as a kid, he was just curious. He liked getting into places he shouldn't have and asking the questions and finding things that little kids shouldn't be finding. But he wasn't necessarily a murderer. And in the bush, he mostly hunted to survive, or at least defend himself against things like werewolves. It wasn't
Right.
just vicious, manslaughter.
Right.
But when I kill people, the horror is. Well, I won't put it that way. When I kill people, I feel pretty good about it, and I think that's not a good thing. At Amber's continued silence, he'll bring up Matches Malone and say that one of the people we killed, I got there apparently after he died, according to Creed and women you haven't met yet, Lillian.
Mhm.
He prayed to some deity and turned into something completely different. They called him a machine gargoyle.
Mm. Okay.
I blinded him and Zoe took the shot, and that was enough. Creed has more to him than simply being a kindred.
Okay.
He's got something like our other half hanging around him. I don't know if it's unfettered. I don't know if it's. I don't know how it got there, but I know that he has one. We sensed each other when we fought the gargoyle. Creed was able to bring this thing into the real world. So it could be a merged one, but
Okay.
I don't know for sure. But I advise you be careful around him.
Will
He
do.
hasn't done me wrong, and to be honest, I respect him more than the other vampires, despite his habit. But I'm not sure what to make of that thing yet.
So you don't know if it's just attached to him, part of him. He controls, it has some sway over him.
Indeed. He's a
Okay.
vampire. He shouldn't have one of those.
That is quite worrisome.
And it has its own hunger, in addition to the blood. I followed him to his home. Apparently, raw meat helps it.
That is quite grotesque.
Indeed. As you can see, I've met some interesting characters in
Clearly.
the span of one moon.
Yes, you really have.
Nathaniel not only got the last blow on the Riddler, but it seems his ghost suffered for it.
Hmm.
I'm not terribly familiar with ghosts, but I know that they're maybe an echo or some apparition of your soul, and I know something happens that they can't pass on, otherwise they wouldn't be ghosts. But there were questions he couldn't answer. Whether that's a shortcoming in Anthony or the body provided, it's hard to say.
You think the dagger or whatever the final blow was used had something more to it?
I don't know. All I know is it wasn't good enough. He also had a coin. And we keep finding these coins. And he'll actually use the Mirage's Lair trait briefly to show you a rendition of the Egyptian coin they found and the Latin one they found tonight. And then it's gone. Like once you've inspected it, it's not meant to impose a penalty or anything. So
Right.
these coins have been found in the hearts of supernaturals, mainly vampires. The large vampire that my lair was defiled for had an Egyptian coin where his heart should have been. We found him dead in the harbor. The kindred left a corpse. Tatiana informed me that some kindred do that. This Latin coin came out of the Riddler, who was a ghoul. You may not know the vampire's word for ghoul, but actually no. We'll say a vampire servant.
Okay.
Someone who's tasted kindred blood and has gained something from it as a human. So,
Okay.
Thrall, that's the word. There we go.
Thrall.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Having a coin in your heart as a human is unsettling.
Very. It definitely can't be placed there by normal means.
I'm curious if the entity that, and he keeps saying defiled his lair because it's like he's simmering on it, like he
not
wants
happy.
blood.
Yeah, he is not happy.
Even with 9 satiety, like he doesn't muster any strong emotions, so this is just like his smoldering little fire he's got going for rage.
Right.
And that's it. The entity that defiled my lair, if they can take something out of a place as obscure as this, perhaps they can do the inverse. Now, if that's the case, none of us are safe.
Then what do we do?
Out of character, I need a storyteller for what I want to do. But
No, this is in character. I am legit just picking your brain.
yeah, Talon's response realistically would be what I'd do, but I can't right now, so
Talon's response would be like, well, I want to find him. I want to kill him.
yeah, I'm gonna do this thing, but I can't right now, so that's basically it, yeah. I'm gonna hunt this man, thing, whatever.
Well, seems like we have a lot on our plate to do.
I'm sorry that I dragged you into this.
I smile
But now
very
you're aware.
reassuringly. I just smile at you reassuringly, like, it's alright. Seems like fun.
Well, now we're in a brood. And now my business is your business. And the reverse is true.
Yes.
So, what have you been up to?
Not a whole lot. Got hired on, kind of, trading favors, pretty much. I do this, and Titus owes me favors. I need to help him figure out, find information, intel, on the Out of character. I keep forgetting what it's called. It starts with an E.
Elysium?
No, it's
Or-
like Eternal. No.
Oh, the gang Eternals. Yeah.
Yeah, Eternals. There you go. Find information, more information on the Eternals. Maybe infiltrates, and also information on someone called the Penguin.
Lillian has a
Lillian does.
grudge against the Penguin.
Mm.
Seems like every time I am in her presence, his very name inspires her to a fury.
Mm. Well, it seems as Titus is on that bandwagon also.
This is the first I've heard of the Eternals, and now that I know their name, I suppose I'll add that to the list.
Yes. Have you heard anything from Uncle Anthony over our target?
Not yet.
Okay.
Out of character, we did kind of say he was going to fill us in when we were at his house, and that we would just retroactively put that information there whenever he learns it.
Okay.
But
Sounds
yeah,
good.
Talon would still say I haven't learned anything new.
Okay, yeah. Either way, it'd just be like new information. Because, I've been gone for like a day and a half.
Mm-hmm. You're familiar. How familiar are you with what our kind is capable of?
Not extremely, as I did not have someone to really help me. Just kind of figured things out on my own.
He'll, wherever the hell Nathaniel is, probably sleeping because it's like morning.
Yeah.
He'll have his horror spawn enter his lair from wherever the fuck, and it's like this grotesque. It's Talon's foot, but like
That's his point. It's just
But,
crawling around.
it's twisted in the shape of his horror, so it's like this skeletal. Think of like the Thing from the Addams Family, the hand, but it's like a skeletal foot draped in shadows with just instead of think of like eyes instead of skin cells.
Ooh. I understand.
It's
I can picture that. That is
extreme.
fucked up, to say
It's
the
pretty-
least.
Yeah, and the shadow. And the toes are like elongated, like owl talons or bird talons, and that's how it's moving around.
This is more fucked up. Okay.
And that's what he cut off of himself, essentially, and put his horror into, and that's what it got twisted into.
Yeah. That is, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. A pure creature of beauty right there.
This is a horror spawn. It's something that we can create in times of dire need, or some like to have many. They have advantages, but they erode you.
I mean, that one literally took your foot.
That's not what I mean, Amber. If it spends too much time away from me, it will try to become a horror. If I spend too much time with it, I'll be more in tune with my horror, like I'll lose a bit of myself. So it's a very fine line.
Very. Dangerous game to play. Like most things.
Well, I'd say that the information was worth it. I mean, I have a mark on the prince. I know what Nathaniel is. I know that their courtly bullshit owes them big.
Yes, the information is very invaluable.
I know where the castle is and who the king that owns it.
Hmm. That's actually a whole lot. So yeah, your horror would have been worth it, horror spawn.
I also have a mark on one they call the sheriff.
The sheriff.
He's a brutish creature, but efficient. He's not one that I would cross lightly.
I understand.
He seems to like me. But you never really know with these guys. I'm glad you're back.
Me too. Makes the world feel less alone.
It's always nice to know when someone's on your side because they want to be, not because they feel obligated or because they owe you and someone else can pay that favor for them.
Yes.
I find all these alliances and trite dealings, they're not my. He kind of just trails off. Like, he doesn't really. He sees that they can be practical, but at the same time, he's like, how flimsy are they really, though?
They're not very meaningful in the grand scheme. Useful, yes.
You and me, we're family. Maybe more. I don't know. But there's. It's undeniable that there's something there.
Yes.
Something that can't be bought.
Or replaced.
I think that's my biggest. Like, how would you phrase this? That's a source of great suspicion for me. That all these creatures, they act as though life itself is simply a bargaining chip. Like, you come to a place like this, gesturing to the club around them, and you just trade other people's lives for material gain, for political gain. Who cares? It's all the same.
But that's just life in Gotham. This kind of hits Amber real close to home, because that is legit what she does. She's like not insulted, but you can tell she's like tad bit like, oh.
Well, he's also coming at it from a completely different point of view. You're an information trader. You're not literally going, hey, here's half a dozen human people you can just feed. Here's some feeding grounds or herds. We're literally just offering up these people to die by your hands. Necessarily.
Well, that's the result of a lot of the information I trade. I mean, hey, information trader. Fair. You want to know this guy's weakness? What are you gonna give me in return? You want to use this weakness? That's fine, that's you. I am the cause of a lot of people's ruin. I mainly use it because then people don't really mess with me, Because if you have information on everybody, then nobody bothers you.
That's the other thing. Talon would take you up on that, and I've made a lot of friends, but when they call me friends, I think they expect more out of me than I do them. They all, I don't know if they respect me like they should, but they'll learn. Some of them know. Creed knows not to cross me, for sure. The rest, it might just be pretty words. We'll see.
Yes. I don't trust the big lot of them, but I have only just met them. And
Creed
most in
fears me
passing.
when I'm hungry.
Mm.
I can't remember who said it in character, out of character, that the Shadow Man is scary when he's hungry, but
I don't think I was there, but
but
you might have.
at any rate, Talon knows that Creed, at least in some regard, respects him, and they actually have an arrangement to get Talon a magic bow via Creed.
Oh, cool.
So Talon doesn't feel used by Creed. They have an arrangement, they have an understanding. And Creed knows not to piss Talon off.
Right.
But the rest, they talk to me like I'm a child, like I'm innocent, like I'm somehow less than what I am. I don't know if they realize this or not, but they come to me, they make this show of trusting me with no basis. And it's like all I do is return the gesture, and it just seems too easy. Like they're setting you up.
Yeah. Oh. Beasts, animals only have need for you until there's no use. And this is Amber kind of trailing, this is kind of self-loathing kind of deal. And then you get tossed.
You kind of like had a weird
I?
internet moment.
Oh, sorry.
These animals, how many other people know you as this? Is what it sounded like.
Oh, okay. It's many people, animals, beasts kind of just have you around until your use is gone, used up. They have no need. And then you get tossed like nothing. And this is Amber being very self-loathing at this point, because it's not like she likes it.
Fair enough. Tom will slide to her side of the booth. We'll probably just get up and then sit down next to her, rather. And kind of just lean on her, like, do you think I'm like that?
As far as I know, no. You seem too straightforward to be.
I see no point in manipulating. If I can take what I want, why wouldn't I?
Very true. I pat you on the head and smile at you.
Speaking of, you implied there's possibilities.
Yes.
No where I've come from, how I've grown, and you still offer this companionship?
Yeah, you're not like everyone else. You don't have a ton to gain. Yes, power, yes, whatever. You really couldn't care less about it. Just seems like you're genuinely here to help people. Find friends, find family. Maybe a little bit revenge, and that's okay. It's a nice change of pace.
What use do I have for money when my lair and like a nice dinner appears on the table, and there's like basically an Olympic swimming pool that's heated to bathe in. Like the room kind of just starts shifting to display what his lair can do, and he's like, "What do I care about these trivial things?
Exactly.
Everything I've ever wanted has just been here
Hmm.
until recently, living among animals, the wolves included. It was good. Hunting feels good. But as I grow as a person, and he means like aging in a sense, but
Yeah.
I realize that there's more to life than the hunt. I started finding myself asking these questions like, why do I hunt? For who? Only myself? Well, to what ends? If I have everything here, I realized that if I continued down that path, I might lose myself. And so here I am. And you get the feeling when he says lose himself, he means merging with the horror. He wouldn't. He would feel like he'd run out of reasons to care about his human half, and he'd
Right.
either, yeah, you know what I mean. So.
Hmm. Yeah.
How does Amber respond to that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
pretty heavy.
yeah, it is really heavy. She's pondering it, clearly not used to this, because men only want one thing. She ponders it. She
She's
kind of
just
just
sitting there like lost in space.
she's you could tell she's deep in thought. She kind of leans closer to you, probably puts her head on your chest, and is just like, yeah. And just gives that a little chuckle, like she has nothing to say at this. She is legit. The social person is speechless.
I seem to do that both out of character and in character with
That's
like
all
more
I'm
often than should be possible.
Very true. Very true. Dork.
Anyway, I'm trying to rack my brain here and see if there's anything else Talon needs to cover before we call this thing. We covered the Mecha
Right.
Gargoyle, the Riddler. He learned about the Prince. He explained that he doesn't necessarily trust everyone around him and that his relationships feel hollow, not necessarily entirely their fault. It's also his sort of lack of humanity right now, well, in general.
Right.
um, yeah, and the whole thing with Titus and the Eternals.
Right.
He has a suit now. Oh, I better write that down. Yeah, navy suits, mafia hats.
It's a very spiffy suit too. I like it.
Yeah, the next scene we have, people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
I'm almost tempted to like do like a matching like blazer leather jacket kind of deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe that. Not too obvious, but definitely the same color. I'm just like, hee hee, that's me. I did this in your face, Patience.
We're gonna have a love triangle. Oh, that's the other thing. That reminds me.
What?
Talon will fill you in on another extremely valuable piece of information.
Oh, good to know.
With your head on his chest and sitting in the booth,
Which is?
he will probably put his arm around your shoulder, and he kind of looks thoughtful, as though he's like cautious about just saying this, but he relaxes after a moment. So, a brief moment of tension, and then the vampires have a tool that.
I'm not sure if you're trying to talk or not, but you're muted.
I'm not muted. What? You should be able to hear me.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck? What the hell? Oh yeah, you should be able to hear me. What the fuck?
Oh no. We have lost the Talon. He has gone mute. What is this affliction? Did you try
I have a feeling she muted her phone by accident. You should be able to hear me.
I can hear you now.
Okay, so you probably muted your phone.
I don't know what happened, but I ended up like accidentally backing out completely and just like, oh shit.
Okay. Well,
So I
it's
need
fixed
the
now
important.
anyway.
I need the important information. Very vital. That is where we're at.
Yeah.
Something that a love triangle reminded you of.
Yeah. So with your head on his chest, he puts his arm around your shoulder, and there's a brief moment of tension before he continues. But their blood has power over the mind. One of the reasons I trust Creed at all is he filled me and a werewolf in on how the blood works. If you drink a vampire's blood, it forces you to be more in line with their interests for an exceptionally long time. It's also addicting. I can truthfully say that I'm not bonded. I am no one's thrall. However, it worked on a werewolf, so I imagine it would work on one of us. Be careful if anything a vampire offers you to consume. They have ways like us to hide. And not just themselves. That's kind of a leap of faith for Talon, but he also knows that their powers work a little differently. They're calling on something else a little bit more than something. It doesn't necessarily feel inherent to them. It's not a natural extension of their body in the same way. But for him, he's just saying, like, be careful of what they offer you, because even if it's not a leap of faith to say they can hide stuff other than themselves, the fact of the matter is, are you really going to notice a drop of blood in, like, a beer or something? Like, one drop of a liquid in a large amount of another liquid? It's just going to dilute, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's important for Amber to know. Or I'll just say that in character. That's something I've picked up thanks to Creed.
Seems like a nice guy. But won't trust vampires' food they give me. I say this like kind of like half jokingly. Like, I get it, I understand. But I kind of make a big joke out of things.
What's new? No.
Very true.
I think that's the last major thing.
Good.
You probably know some of this, but yeah, Tatiana owns the Velvet Rose.
Yeah, I actually don't know much of the inner workings of anything because nobody has explained it to me. Like, I don't know the connections between everybody yet. Like, I met Tatiana once.
So
didn't really hear her spoke of, except that she's crazy in, ways.
Well, Patience is crazy. Tatiana's just
power hungry.
Vain. Very vain.
You're so vain.
Insults. He's like trying to find these words and eventually finds what he's looking for. She acts with authority. And thanks to Nathaniel's newfound power, she might actually have some now. So it's a development with significant repercussions, is essentially what he's trying to get across.
Yeah, I'll be careful. I'll try not to upset the queen. He kind of like brushes your hair back, and this is not to be repeated. Anything said here stays here. He chuckles. Nathaniel is getting married to Tatiana. The vampires. I can't remember when Tatiana invited Talon, but yeah, he's essentially been invited to their wedding. Aww. And Nathaniel also straight up said his future wife while you were there, I think. While Talon was bringing up his lack of leadership, or confidence in leadership. Right. So. The werewolves own the sushi bar. William's family. I don't think you've met him yet. No. I have not. I don't think I've met a werewolf yet.
seems most of my newfound company cater places within the society of the masses. Titus has his dive bar now,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure you can see. I know it's just an echo being in here, but this place is a little more atmospheric.
Very.
Anthony is partially responsible for this place. And I don't mean the lair, obviously.
Right.
Um, I've shown the lair to a few people now. Mostly when I get angry.
Hmm?
Or did you get quiet again or what?
No, I didn't hear the last part
Oh.
you said.
Mostly when I get angry.
Ooh.
I had an incident at Red Aller's lab. He had a lab where he was experimenting on supernaturals. That's my main experience with the sheriff. This person had a machine, like one of those old cannons, but newer for an arm. And he had this bubble that he put around himself. It's very tough. I had suffered a few setbacks and had been angry. He came up to me. I think he didn't understand, but I told him to leave. I told him to leave me alone, and he wouldn't listen. So I put him in here for a while, for the night, in fact. The one other time that I've done this was with Creed and Patience and that vampire who defiled my lair. It's like a sticking point for him.
It really is.
This is my place, damn it, and nobody's fucking allowed unless I say so.
And I'm just over here like, yeah, better not happen again, bitch. My layer's connected now. This ain't just your home.
Well, you have certain gifts as well.
Yeah.
Referring to these sealed exits, they're trained.
Yeah.
With you around, security should be easier to maintain.
Yeah, they're at least not gonna leave.
Indeed.
Then we can take care of them in our own horrific ways. Might be slightly evil there.
I am an Oogaloo Predator, and you're an Ngumo Ravager. I don't think we're exactly heroes to begin with. Then again, this world of darkness, nobody's a hero. They're all just trying not to be monsters.
Well, I mean, my legend is helpful, actually. Helpful without like
Legend is helpful? Holy shit.
my the legend? Yeah. Well, see, my whole thing is to just sabotage out of selfishness.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Helpful,
There's
like set up a mark, helpful.
Mm-mm. No, it's not
make them
like
feel like they can trust you and do all that fun stuff, and then rip the ground out from under them, kind of thing.
yeah. I try to be genuinely helpful. That is my legend, is genuine helpfulness. But
That
I
should
just
probably
like
be your life then. Just saying.
my life. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay. That's why I was a little confused. I was like, your legend is your horror. I doubt your horror is helpful.
No. Okay, no, that would be ruin. My life
That's your
is
hunger.
helpful.
Your hunger is ruin.
Then
You have a
what would my
legend and a
life?
life. Life is your thing that reminds you of your humanity.
Okay,
Legend
so
is what the
that's
beast tried.
helpful.
Yeah.
Helpful, and then my legend is sabotage. Okay, I
Sabotage.
remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I try to be helpful, kind of.
Okay, that makes a
Attempts.
lot more sense.
Yeah, no, like I strive to be helpful. It doesn't
Cool.
work though.
I strive to be honest, which I'm very good at.
You are.
Unfortunately, I'm still a monster because my honesty is it's rude to eavesdrop. So I told you I did. He just doesn't care. He's
The
just straight up
social-
with everybody.
The social graces are completely lost on you. They're just non-existent. Nah. You know.
Yeah.
Great.
They're not completely lost. He's talking fairly coherently and nicely now.
Yes, he is. He's also fairly comfortable.
He's also got 9 satiety. Anyway.
Yeah,
I'll
he's
be
very
right back.
like okay. And this is a short intermission.
Sorry, nosebleed. I'm back.
Stop looking at that hot anime. Come on,
I don't
man.
need hot anime. I have an active imagination.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen my drawings? They're fucked. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Excuse
I
me.
suppose
I'm the
we'll
one that
just,
tacks your drawings to my walls.
Fair. This is fair.
I win.
We could probably just end the scene there with like Talon and Amber somewhat being affectionate to each other, I guess. However you want
Basically
to play that up.
cuddling. Yeah. Basically
I don't think
cuddling.
anything's really. It's just kind of like, hey, I haven't seen you in a decade.
Right.
Here's
It's
everything that's happened. Hey, by the way, you know me like nobody else does, and you're cool with that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I can just see Talon 2 thumbs up. Cool.
I'm totally not a murderous, crazy sociopath.
You're not a murder hobo. No.
Fucking Dexter just walking up to you. Cool. Before you get the axe in the back of your head.
I hope you wouldn't axe me in the back of the head. At least
No.
into the face, so I can see it coming. That's great. Yeah, we covered a lot of information.
Yeah, I hope
There.
you maybe took. Oh, I didn't take notes, but like, at least in character, we have a reason to know an awful lot of stuff now. So,
Yeah, I do.
and
Good
if
deal.
anyone ever asks, how the fuck do you know that you've only been here? Well, this scene will be on YouTube and it's already posted in the channel. So,
There we go. Perfect.
all right,
That.
I will mute. And
That
do
is
it.
a thing. Awesome.
What? That is what?
That is a thing.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Thank you, players, for playing, and viewers for viewing. That is the end of that scene in Gotham by Night. 2 beasts hanging out in their shared lair, exchanging secrets, and perhaps a little more. Until next time, take care.